Good morning, everyone. How you doing? So now I know that, right, we got to wait for the room to fill up. That's what they say on Facebook Live. We got to give it a second, wait for the room. But we are so excited today because we have Jen Doherty here from Mountain Elk Foundation to talk to us about the Great American Land Act. And we're so excited. So I'm going to turn it over to Christa this morning because we're going to jump right in. And if y'all have questions, please comment on them and we'll ask Jen.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jen, for joining us. So, Jen, you are actually with Mountain Elk Foundation, correct?
Correct.
And you are, my brain just stopped, Director of Lands or something like that.
Yes, Director of Lands, kind of an elusive title, but that means that I'm working on our land protection work and across the country, as well as our public access work.
Right. And I'm gonna interject for a second because, Jen, how many acres has RMEF protected? It's a lot.
Yes. So if you want the grand total of habitat enhancement and land protection, it is nearly 8 million acres. Oh my gosh. That's huge. If you're looking at public access in particular, which we aim to improve public access so all of us can get out there and enjoy those landscapes, it's 1.3 million acres. So
that's amazing. So we want to talk about the Great American Outdoor Act, but it's that kind of a day. We're just going to go and throw that out there. Forget the technical difficulties. Christa's mouth clearly does not want to work today. Can you give us a quick rundown about RMEF and what Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is? We've actually featured RMEF in some previous lives, but having you on real and in person, we'd love to get your verbiage on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that don't know about the Elk Foundation, you should know about the Elk Foundation because we are very much supporting the lifestyles that all of us enjoy. So as both organizations are doing out there in the field, our mission is to ensure the future of elk, other wildlife, their habitat, and our hunting heritage. And so we do that through 4 mission programs. We do that through land protection and public access work. We do that through habitat enhancement work, through hunting heritage, and then through advocacy, because as we're going to talk about today with the Great American Outdoors Act, advocacy is very important. Advocating for our lifestyles to continue into the future is vital to the success of elk herds and also, the public land hunter.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That kind of gives everyone a quick overview about what RMEF is. One of the things that we've seen with COVID that we can all say is a positive. I mean, there's so many non-positives, but that we can say is a positive is people are getting outdoors again. Yeah. They're getting away from technology, getting out from behind the screen, and they're stepping outside and taking in that fresh air. Can you share quickly? And let's start down this journey of what is the Great American Outdoors Act?
I know it sounds awfully lofty, right? The Great Outdoors Act. And honestly, it is. It's a huge success story in the conservation field. So it's literally the biggest land conservation bill that has been around, or legislation that's been enacted in a generation. So we're talking like this is a big deal, right? And for conservationists, we never thought it would happen, frankly. We've always dreamed about this day, and now it's here before us, and it's time to put us to the test and see if we can pull this off and be successful. But you can break this bill down in 2 ways. One is that it's going to address the backlog of maintenance on our campgrounds, our national forests, our trailheads, all those places that you go and you think to yourself like, geez, this campground's really run down, or the bridge is out again. The federal land agencies don't have the money to effectively keep that maintenance up. And whether it's a national park, a national forest, wildlife refuge, or just general open BLM and national forest land, they need that funding to be able to provide the infrastructure for us to continue to enjoy it. And as you said, Christa, there are, record number of people out there, right? The recreational pursuits have increased, tenfold during COVID, but even before COVID, that was on the rise. More people are getting outdoors. And so with that, we need to kind of take care of what we have. So the legislation brings $9 billion to the federal backlog of maintenance. huge money. And that's over 5 years. So all of those federal land agencies, all those management agencies like BLM, Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife Service, National Park Service, they're all getting to increase their maintenance levels and fix some of these things that have been on their backlog list for a long time. At the same time, the second fold, and the one that the Elk Foundation is more engaged in, I would say, is the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And hopefully that rings a bell. LWCF is something that's been around for a long time, since 1964. And it allows us to get work done. So it allows us to protect vital habitat, migration corridors, elk calving areas, things like that. And really purchase land, put it into land management base, like National Forest Service land, or do public access easements to get into existing public lands. And so that program has been around for a long time, and it's paid for. This is a lot of money, right? But it's paid for with offshore oil and gas drilling proceeds on federal water. So there's this, revenue stream coming in no matter what. When Land and Water Conservation Fund was established in 64, that drilling, those drilling revenues were going into LWCF to fund these types of projects. So it's been a long-standing program. The problem is the money has always been siphoned off for other things. And so we've never really realized the full funding. And now with this act, we get the opportunity to spend the full funding, which is $900 million a year. So huge amounts of funding. And, I will say with that, the program being around for so long has a very established scoring and ranking system. So you're really doing the best projects nationally, and they're competing against each other. So it's something the Elk Foundation is engaged in since our very first land acquisition called Robb Creek in Montana, which I know Karen had the opportunity to go visit. And there are special places all over the country that the Elk Foundation's been involved in, and others have, that you can literally go out there and take your son or daughter and your mother and father and get out there and recreate now because of this Land and Water Conservation Fund.
Right. And I have to tell y'all, if you haven't been out to Montana to some of this land that they have preserved for us, it is so beautiful, especially right now. I bet the aspens are starting to turn, and there'll be groves of just these beautiful trees. And if you can get close and sit there, you can hear the wind. You'll be able to see all kinds of wildlife. So RMEF, their goal for elk is great, but that habitat that they protect carries over to every species that's there, when you have that opportunity. I just am so impressed. I did not realize the tie between the oil and the drilling and what RMEF is able to do in terms of land acquisition to preserve that land. And the access to public lands is really important as more and more people are getting outdoors and wanting to even go hunt or just go on a hike. If you have to beg somebody to get through their property, it's not fun, right? And those sometimes are the best places to hunt, I will say.
Yeah. Your success rate in trying to get access through private land is probably not as good as some of the elk hunting success rates in the Western states.
Yeah. So the other thing is the maintenance projects, right? So having been recently through Yellowstone and some of the other national forests through that area, we took a little tour and a drive. I think about not only that, but all of the work as our economy has suffered. Think of all the jobs that this act will create. What can people do to help you? What can we do if we're sitting here watching today and we say, I want to be part of RMEF, I want to help with your efforts, or I know of a great piece of land that's coming. I don't know. What is it that you need from us?
Yeah, all of those things. So thank you for bringing it up, Karen. First of all, you're absolutely right. This bill had estimated that it's going to create about 108,000 jobs just through those deferred maintenance projects alone. So, it just keeps amplifying the success, success to local economies. And you can't underscore the success to local economies for outdoor recreation, right? There's huge value there. And first of all, you can become a member, right? You can become a member of the Elk Foundation and have a voice in what we're advocating for, and what seats we're getting at the table to make sure that we're continuing to really do what you all need us to do out there in order to continue your lifestyle. That's what it's really about. We're founded by 4 public land hunters. And it's not all about hunting public land, right? It's about private land too, and private landowners have do amazing things for elk habitat as well. But being a member of the Elk Foundation, getting engaged in your local chapter, which is sort of our fundraising event and where we have volunteer activities. And you can go to our website and find those membership links, but also find your local chapter and figure out how active they are, if it's something that you'd like to be engaged with in a deeper way. We get people out there, pulling old barbed wire fence to make sure that elk aren't getting tangled up, doing all sorts of great work on the ground. And our volunteers are just amazing, heartfelt people, and it's really a neat community to be engaged in. So I would encourage everyone to visit our website and see where your niche is.
So I live in Alabama, where we don't have elk, but I live on the Elk River in Elkmont. And so, there's all kinds of opportunity for elk here. I think they were here some years ago. But we had our banquet, and we were so happy that we were able, even in a COVID environment, to successfully, have it. You just can't make this stuff up, people. But we had our banquet, and it was a great success, and we love our banquet. But years ago, Charlie and Bob Decker, came and visited. Charlie Decker, Bob Munson, right? They came and visited us, and I may have paid a lot of money for a BB gun that is for our grandson that they autographed for us. And that was such a great event for us, and well worth the investment, because, you're giving to a program that is doing so much good, and whatever, all of the things you guys do. You guys look at their Charity Navigator score. They have a very high score. They are very responsible with the resources that they get, and they do a good job on our behalf as a charity organization. And I encourage you all, go out and check them out. Even for elk facts, elk hunting tips, they've got this elk net. You can learn everything you ever wanted to know about elk, and it's just such a great opportunity. What's the thing that you'd like to leave us with today when it comes to this Great American Outdoors Act? Is there a chance it could go away? Do we have to stay involved and active with our legislator to make sure that those things stay active, and we really do get all of the money we're supposed to get for land conservation?
Good point, Karen, because so many times these things sunset or there's controversy over them in the future. I think, LWCF should be a household name in our lifestyle. Those of us that like to get outside and enjoy this stuff, we need to realize where it's coming from. And so just understanding what Land and Water Conservation Fund does, it's everything from, this is kind of a funny fact, it's everything from your large scale land acquisition and addition into a national forest to your city pool. They literally have funded the vast majority of city pools and fishing access sites. So I think something like 80% of fishing access sites are funded by Land and Water Conservation funds. Wow. So if you swim at your local pool, or you go to a fishing access site, or you hunt in the mountains, or it touches everybody who goes outside. And so just really understanding that and knowing that is important. And the act does not, so 2 parts of the act, the LWCF side that the Elk Foundation mostly uses does not sunset, luckily. That's a perpetual bill, which is really rare, and was funded, I should add, bipartisan. It was, everyone was supported. It didn't matter where you land politically. And then the deferred maintenance side, the maintenance of our national parks and whatnot, that does sunset after 5 years. So I would encourage you to get involved in those projects. Maybe you're a local contractor, or your family is. You should be checking in with with, your local ranger station or national park and seeing what kind of projects they have going on, because they're putting projects out to bid and putting people to work right now. And we want to make sure that that's a successful program.
Great. This is like a really eye-opening moment for me this morning. So where I live is in the middle of national forest. So we live in a few small towns here and completely surrounded by national forest. And we love to hike them. We love to camp them. We love to go through them. And this will help me and my local community, I think, connect on what's really there and what our responsibility is.
Yeah, Christa, I would say everything stems from that local community. So make sure your county commissioners, for instance, are engaged and supportive of these, efforts and these types of projects. Right. There's lots of different ways to get involved locally all the way to nationally. And as you do a road trip, maybe plan it around Elk Foundation projects or, different things that are going on, different activities.
All right, we're planning our 2021 schedule now. We should look and see if there's something that we could stop by and go volunteer at. I'd love to go pull fence, I think. I'd like, sounds a little hard, but I would try. And I will tell you, I've seen elk go through a fence, and I don't know if people understand when the herd is coming to a fence, they're not like deer and jump a fence. They actually will just trample right through it. And so where you think, don't be stupid, jump the fence, I don't know what it is, but they will just barge right through it. And we certainly want to protect those animals from getting injured and sick. And Rmef does so much. Rmef's been such a great partner. I told Jen before we started of Shoot Like a Girl since really the beginning of the company, and most importantly, since the beginning of the launch of our first trailer. I really attribute our ability to get on the road with that first trailer to the partnership we had with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And I don't think we'd be here without them. And so everybody, this is a great organization. You can take it from me and Christa and Jen. Please go out, join, check out your local area, get involved locally with your community. And Jen, this has been tremendously informative. We've got ladies walking. I'm going to ask anybody if there's any questions.
So we're seeing some comments about people who say, I love Rmef. Karen has posted both the Rmef site and the link to the LCWF right there.
I told her to Google it because I didn't want to go off screen.
Yep, I got it.
I'll put that in there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while we're looking at comments, I would just say, Shoot Like a Girl and the Elk Foundation, I mean, there's just so much synergy between our missions and what we aim to do. And as such, there should be a lot of synergy between our communities. So I'm sure on that, that first trailer launch, it was a very easy partnership and partnership.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say easy thing to do. I was like, no, but it was a very easy partnership. And again, I'm just forever grateful for everything that you all do there. Your staff, it's not a large staff, y'all, and they work so hard on the behalf of all of us. And then they have great board members. I will do a shout out to Donna McDonald. Y'all know she is Upper Canyon Outfitters and one of our favorite people in the world, and she's on their board. And with that, I could keep talking, but I'm going to turn over to Christa. We'll let you have a few last comments, Jen, but Christa's going to do some housekeeping because we have some prizes. And I just want to say, if you've watched and you've won a prize and you're waiting on a Shoot Like a Girl prize pack, I promise they will get in the mail this week. I apologize that they're delayed, but we will make sure that all of those prize packs get mailed out and you all have them soon.
Yes. So just as always, right? Like, comment, share. That puts you in and eligible to win a prize pack. Last week, Karen and I talked kind of candidly, just sort of casually about hunting. And we started down that path about the experienced hunter versus maybe the non-experienced hunter and some things around our adventure alligator hunting. So we want to thank Cindy K. Heesh. She is the winner of last week's prize pack. And remember, with this same live, like, comment, and share so that you can be entered to win a prize pack. We might actually be able to come up with an Rmef shirt or something to add to that pack. Let's see what we can do. Jen, are there any final comments that you would like to make before we close out today?
Well, I would definitely like to say thank you to Shoot Like a Girl for what you do for our community, for our lifestyle into the future here. As a hunter myself and, you know, a mother of 2 kids, I couldn't agree more with your mission and think that, you know, it's important for all of us to discuss what we truly love and to be able to pass that on to the next generation. And I say that as a mom, but I also say that as a professional in land conservation. You can have some deeply moving moments out there in the field and connecting to nature. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So follow your heart and support the organizations that help advocate for you, and make sure you find your voice and get out there and get outside.
That was a great comment, Jen. And you can see Karen smile, because if anyone that knows the Shoot Like a Girl story, that's part of where we started.
Yeah. Outside.
Outside.
It's all about outside. Get outside. Enjoy the day. The weather's cooling off. Y'all have a great week. We will see you next Tuesday. We're excited to be back, and we wish you all just the best. And you know what? You have a choice today, and you can decide whether life circumstances are going to bring you down or you're going to overcome them. And so I wish you all to overcome them, be kind and polite, and have a fantastic day.
And get outside. Oh, yes. Ashland, Virginia. We'll see you in 3-4 days. So if you're in the Ashland, Virginia area, please come out. See the Shoot Like a Girl trailer. We'd love to have you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.